Hey, I'm Dean Thompson, and for National Lamb Day, I'm going to demonstrate a recipe I recently did for the Sunday Star Times. It's a deboned leg of lamb turned into barbecue lamb tacos. Also on those tacos, there's going to be the pickled onions, kawa chimichurri, and dukkha, which I will also have recipes up for that. So today, we're going to debone this leg of lamb. I'm going to take the shank and turn that into something else, and we're going to butterfly the rest of the leg and cook it on the barbecue and cut that up and serve it in tacos for National Lamb Day.
Lamb.
Lamb leg.
Lamb.
Should we cook it?
Cook it?
Yeah. First of all, we're going to locate this bone at the top here, and we're going to line that up with a knee. Just over here. We're going to make a cut from the knee along that bone, and there's lots of little cuts to expose that bone. Just keep making little cuts, and as we try to expose that bone more and more. See here, there's that bone I'm talking about there, so I just want to keep bringing that out until that's fully cut out. Important here to have a really sharp knife and doing lots of small cuts close to the bone so you're not damaging too much of the meat. Once you've exposed that bone enough, you can run the knife along the underside of the bone. Just this little bit under here, so you just put that knife under here like this, and then finish it out along that way to pop that bone out. And then up here you'll find another little bit of bone. I'm just going to cut that out. This little bit here, really easy, just cut around it. We're going to save that for later. We're going to use that with the shank and braise it so nothing goes to waste. Sweet, so now we're going to remove the shank. So I'm just going to locate that shank muscle, and we're just going to make a few cuts through here and just cut that shank out. Just like so. Now that we've removed that, we're going to set that aside and use it for something else later. With this, you could roll that up, tie it, and use it as a whole roast, but instead today we're going to butterfly that. So start by making a few cuts in here just to open it up. So on each end you've got the rump on one side and the top side on the other. So first of all, we're just going to cut off a bit of that excess fat that won't have the time to render down, as we're going to be cooking it hard and fast in the barbecue. And now we're going to run the knife through the fat bits on each end, cutting off any scraggly bits, saving them for to be cooked with that shank again. Cool, so now it's all butterflied and all even on that side for an even cooking time on a barbecue. Flip around and do the same on the other side. Cut. Did you just pick that out of the garden? Nice. If you wanted to with this, you could add a stuffing or seasoning or even chimichurri, roll it up, tie it and roast it whole. But today we're gonna season it, and my favorite lamb rub at the moment is 4 tablespoons of salt, 4 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, and 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika. Really easy, and really good for bringing out the flavors of that lamb, especially on the barbecue. Now for the shank. So for this, I'm going to cook all the meat off the bone, so I'm just going to leave this bone attached. So we're going to braise that meat off the bone, and I'm going to turn it into a lamb bitterballen, a really yum comfort food snack, and real simple and easy way to, especially for making this little bit of meat go a bit further. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dice some onions, garlic, chuck it in with that lamb shank, cover it with add a bit of salt and pepper too, of course, and cover it with some red wine and water, and then baking paper and tin foil. And then I'll braise that in the oven for about 3 hours at 150 degrees Celsius or 300 degrees Fahrenheit. quick trip to the beach while that's cooking in the oven. Back home in time to pull the lamb out of the oven. So I'm going to scrape all that meat off the bone and keep all the juices and onions and garlic. So with that lamb shank, I'm going to make some bitterballens, real yum, easy snack. So what we're going to do is start by making a simple bechamel, melting some butter, mixing in some flour, cooking that out. Then add some milk and continue to stir it and cook until that bechamel thickens, and of course season it. Add that bechamel to the lamb shank meat and mix it through. And then I'm going to add some grated cheese just for that extra bit of flavour. Now we're going to cool down that mixture until it sets, and then roll it into balls and then crumb it by placing it in flour, then egg wash, and then breadcrumbs. And then those balls are going to be deep fried. Here's the bitterballen. I've made them a bit bigger so I had less crumbing to do. But when you look at how many we got, it's definitely a great way to make that one little lamb shank go a lot further, especially if you've got people coming over and you want entertaining. What I love about these bitterballens is they're just that ultimate comfort food, that snack, that, you know, that thing that you have a bite out of, it leaves you wanting more. I had these on the menu for a few years at Snap Rock. I've got beef croquettes in their replacement at the moment, but I'll definitely be bringing these back, I reckon. For that butterflied leg of lamb, I'm going to place it fat side down on the barbecue, turned off. Now I'm going to turn it on and leave it on low. I'm going to cover it and leave it for about 30 minutes. Putting it on that low temperature gives that fat side plenty of time to render down. And then once that's all ready to go, I'm going to flip it over and sear off that meat side, and it should be ready to go. Now I'm going to slice all that lamb up, slicing against the grain so it's nice and tender, and then I'm going to mix that with our chimichurri so it's ready to go into the tacos. Then get the professionals, give it a quick taste test, and they approve. Now for the tacos, I put the lamb, slaw, sriracha mayo and crispy corn. That crispy corn adds a nice crunch. And then I also finish it off with the dukkha and pickled red onion. If you go check out my other videos, there's recipes there for the pickled red onion, the dukkha and the kawa chimichurri. Cheers. Want some one? Good, eh? Happy National Lamb Day. Taco. Yum.